Wild Ideas to Turn Down the Sun. Source: Science Illustrated. By visualgk.com. Salt and air. Clouds and bubbles could reflect the light. The simplest ways to reduce sunlight happen at or right above the ocean surface. One involves millions of air bubbles, with diameters of 1/500th of a millimeter, released from ships, to make the ocean surface lighter. The bubbles change the water's albedo, that is, the quantity of reflected light. Light surfaces have high albedo, dark ones low. Physicist Russell Mac-Gregor Seitz, from Harvard University, has calculated that the bubbles could cool the world by up to 3 degrees Celsius. Another method uses the fact that clouds close to Earth's surface cool the world more than they heat it. So the aim would be to produce low artificial clouds above the ocean by launching billions of tiny salt grains, or salt water droplets, a few hundred meters into the sky. The salt grains make moisture form into tiny droplets that form clouds. But both methods would provide less light for photosynthesis for algae, etc., affecting the food chain for all marine animals. Pros: cheap and technologically simple. Cons: influences food chains. Space mirrors. Large mirrors could collect energy. Large surfaces in space, such as orbiting mirrors, could reflect solar radiation away from Earth. The mirrors would produce a number of artificial lunar eclipses, with shadows, that travel Earth's surface, reducing the influx of light. A sophisticated version uses the energy captured, redirecting it towards Earth, in concentrated form, by laser or microwaves, that are subsequently converted into power. In 1992, Soviet scientists tested the idea of a 20-meter wide Znamya 2 solar mirror, that was to reflect the sunlight, and illuminate Arctic cities, during the winter. Since 2013, Caltech, in the US, has been working on an updated design. But according to opponents of the technology, a concentrated ray of energy from space could potentially be used for other purposes than street lighting. Accidents or deliberate actions in times of war could use such a ray as a weapon to target, for example, power plants. Pros: could contribute green energy. Cons: could be used as a weapon. Lunar dust. Dust to be launched from the moon. One of the more inventive suggestions involves fine dust that would block out some sunlight, to be launched towards the Lagrange point, between the Sun and Earth. Lagrange points are points of equilibrium between two heavenly bodies, in terms of gravitational influence, so the dust of the Lagrange point would remain there. In a study from 2023, 3 US scientists calculated that it would require 10 billion kg of dust to block out 1.8% of the sunlight, corresponding to 6 days of sunlight annually. The scientists propose the dust be launched from the moon, because its surface is covered in suitable dust, and less energy is required to launch the dust into space, due to the moon's lower gravitational acceleration. Pros: it happens outside the atmosphere. Cons: expensive, and impossible at the moment. Volcanic eruptions. Sulfur, to cool the world. Planes or balloons could take sulfur into the stratosphere, which begins 6 to 17 kilometers above Earth's surface. There, the sulfur will be converted into droplets of sulfur dioxide, which reflect the sunlight more efficiently, and hence function as billions of small mirrors. The sulfur can remain in the stratosphere for a decade, because there is no rain to wash it out. The effect is known from major volcanic eruptions, such as Mount Tambora in 1815, when 10 to 120 million tons of sulfur were flung into the atmosphere, making global temperatures fall by 0.4 to 0.7 degrees Celsius the following year. Several studies warn that such large quantities of sulfur would influence the environment very badly. Pros: simulates a process with a familiar effect. Cons: pollutes the world with sulfur. Please like, share and subscribe. visualgk.com